Today, we're reviewing a preamp and amplifier from Matrix that'll make your wallet cry. Now, however, before we begin, give me a few minutes so that I can share with you what went through my head as I prepared to make this video. Get a bowl of instant noodles, sit down and hear me out. Now, I would argue that in the hi-fi world, a significant change occurred when Chinese manufacturers began producing very good DACs. Brands like SMSL, Topping, Denafrips, and Matrix became the Robin Hoods of the audio world, bringing high-end audio to the masses without robbing their life savings. Now, today's affordable DAC from Asia can go toe-to-toe with yesterday's creme of the crop from big-name companies. My buddy, Mr. Quad, told me recently that the new Denafrips Airixis 15, about $1,200, outperforms his Higo HD30, a $5,000 DAC from years ago. So it seems the next frontier for Asian audio manufacturers appear to be affordable Class D amps. You now can buy what, $200 Class D amps that can blow you away. Seriously, man, I got my hands on this $100 Le Audio Class D amp recently. I have to admit, I was looking down at the amp when Shenzhen Audio asked me if I could review it. But you know what? Everyone who comes into my room and listens to this Le Audio Class D amp had a big smile on their face. No, I'm not saying they want to replace their ultra fancy system with this $100 amp, but I get a kick out of seeing their WTF expression when I tell them, man, that's only $100. So this begs the question, if Asian companies, audio companies, can create such mind-blowing affordable products, what could they achieve if money were no object? Of course, throwing cash at a problem doesn't guarantee success. Just because you use quality parts does not mean you will get fantastic sound. Regardless, aren't you curious if the Chinese, renowned for making affordable gear sing, can they make a killer high-end preamp and power amp? So recently at the Shenzhen Audio Show, I don't know about you guys, man, does this look like an audio show to you? I met the big guys at Matrix. Matrix, the company known for making affordable DACs, has decided to leap into the deep end of the audio pool. They've unleashed a trio of wallet-crushing components that make your bank account weep. The MA1 Power Amp, $8,000. The MP1 Preamp, $6.7 and the MS1 Streamer, around $10,000. So imagine eating instant noodles to save up for a $24,000 system from a brand that used to be your go-to budget-friendly gear. Holy cow, man, that system better bring me to audio nirvana just by looking at it. Imagine that shit audio comes out with a $10,000 power amp tomorrow. It better have a made in Area 51 sticker on it. So Matrix sent me the preamp and power amp, so a $15,000 combo. Okay, I'll tell you a funny story. So on top of sending me the Matrix MP1 preamp and power amp, MA1 power amp, they also sent me some power and XLR cables. Now usually if I send you a $15,000 system, I would not send you lamp cords. I'll tell you right now, cables will break or make the system. It was the difference between me enjoying the system or not. Anyway, the first thing I did was call up my audio buddy, Mr. Cantor. Dude, man, bring over the big guns. So he brought over all his Siltech cable. The cables cost more than the Matrix combo. No comments on that, please. Interestingly, I got the best sound from this system, not with cables with the most snake oil. I meant the most expensive cable, but instead carefully matching cables got me from okay to whoa, nice. For those who have not watched my Matrix X-sabre3 video, it is currently my primary reference DAC. I like it because it's very dynamic and fast sounding. The preamp section is good, so that I actually don't usually use preamp in my system now. So I have a complete Matrix system with the Matrix DAC, Matrix preamp, and Matrix power amp. So let's start with the humongous $8,000 MA1 power amp. The MA1 power amp is a beast. That'll give you hernia just by looking at it. Weighing in at a back-breaking 94 pounds. It probably comes with 2 warp cores. The one found on Star Trek Enterprise. Whoever designed the looks did a great job. Simple, elegant, feels high-end. Yeah, he probably was inspired by Boulder. I think they have put a lot of thought in the design. For example, the light on the power button is barely visible. If you like to listen to in the dark, yeah, it's excellent. 250 watt per channel. 8 ohms and the ability to bridge into 900 watt 4 ohm. This amp could power a small city, let alone your speaker. Now inside the amp, you have 10 on-semi transistors per channel, 14 parallel connected capacitors to give you almost 200,000 UF of capacitance total. 2 toroidal transformer with 1,250 VA total. Just to give you context, okay? That is 5 times the capacitance compared to a Schüttweiler 2. More than twice the amount of VA. Now, I mentioned Schüttweiler because, everyone knows the Schüttweiler is the go-to sub $1,000 amp. Next, the MP1 preamp. The first thing I noticed, it has a rather satisfying click when you adjust the volume. It's like the audio equivalent of popping bubble wrap. This clicky, 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 clicky sound reminds me of the Schüttweiler volume control. Yes, it can be annoying for some people. According to the website, the MP1 boasts a voltage divider volume control with a 64 precision resistor array, whatever that means. It sounds fancy. Like the Poweramp, the MP1 is an independent dual channel design with 2 toroidal transformer. They even throw in some exotic Mundorf capacitors, which reminds me of what I did when I voiced the Guardian TS-A20. Exotic capacitors all the way. Why go to such extreme, you ask? Well, it's their grand entrance into the high-end market, and as we all know, just like going on a date, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Now at the back, there are plenty of XLR and RCA inputs and outputs. If you happen to win the lottery and can afford 4 MA1 amps, you can hook up 4 MA1 amplifiers to this preamp. Buy an amp on both channels. Lastly, I must say, the touch button and the minimal lighting are very nice. It's perfect for, once again, those who like to listen at night. So how does the preamp sound? My first reaction was that, they were not kidding when they said, according to their website, they were going for the warm and mellow sound. I actually found it too mellow initially because I was using transparent super RCA cables, which are known to be on the softer side. So I switched to the XLR cable from Matrix, which was a significant improvement. That was when I realized, cables will make a big difference with this combo. So the Matrix MP1 preamp stands out for its natural sound quality. So let me define what I mean by that, because everyone claims their system sounds natural. So one of the tests my audio buddy, Mr. Vintage, and I do is whether we can still have a conversation when playing the system loud. If the system sounds natural enough, it will feel more like 3 people having a conversation than 2 people and 1 annoying hi-fi system. So in that sense, if the system is non-intrusive, it is pleasant to listen to. Completely non-scientific, but if you test as many systems as I have, you have to devise creative ways to evaluate systems. The MP1 excels in this regard. It is the least intrusive among all the systems I've tested at Mr. Vintage's home. When it comes to instrument separation, MP1 scores top mark. The layering was good, and the preamp felt grounded, meaning the soundstage feels anchored. The scale, like the size of the singer, is correct. So in some system I listen to, the singer's size gets bigger when you raise the volume. For Mr. Vintage, this is a big no because you lose realism if the person's size changes with the volume. If the violin feels like a big cello, it's a fail, regardless of how good it sounds. Next, you will not get listening fatigue with it. If you plug the Matrix X-sabre3 directly to the Poweramp, yes, you get more dynamic, faster, brighter, and more exciting presentation. As Matrix mentioned on their website, they aim for a mellow sound, and they nailed it. Okay, with the preamp in the system, the highs are limited, or you can argue controlled, meaning the brightness will never go past a certain point, the aggressiveness is toned down, and the dynamics are capped. So the overall presentation is very polite. You must be aware of this key point if you consider this preamp. Now, Mr. Kenta was not a big fan of it because he said it's too polite. While Mr. Vintage thought, no, it was just right. So if you favor a more polite presentation, then audition it. If you don't, bypass the preamp and connect the Poweramp directly to the DAC. There is no question that looking at the inside and outside, they spend real money building this unit. At 6.5 grand, this is no joke. In my experience, high-end gear requires some work to make it sound good. In this case, it is with the careful matching of cables. So the MA1 Poweramp presents an intriguing paradox, because despite its big imposing size, which might lead one to expect earth-shattering dynamics, it delivers a surprisingly neutral and unobstructive performance. So when you compare to a Class AD, yes, the MA1 is full of sound in the upper bass. It doesn't overwhelm with excessive speed, dynamics, or detail. Everything is just right. However, this raises the question, why invest $8,000 in an amplifier that doesn't immediately announce its presence? Interestingly, the amp's ability to disappear sonically may be a double-edged sword. Some audiophiles who invest in high-end equipment prefer a more noticeable presence. The MA1 amp subtle performance is like a rail subwoofer, right? You don't even know it's on. May not satisfy those seeking a more in-your-face sonic presentation. So I spent a gazillion dollars and don't hear what I spent money on. Doesn't make sense, right? But I think of this as a positive. This amp gets out of the way and just plays music instead of coloring the music. And the two key attributes sets the MA1 apart: effortless performance. So the MA1 excels in delivering energy across the entire bass spectrum, from the faintest to the most powerful notes. This quality can be likened to a V12 engine. There's no hesitation. You will not hear compression at any volume. You never feel like the amp is running out of gas, and you can push the volume up to the point where a neighbor will knock on your door and the amp will not break a sweat. Also, when I A/B test it against affordable amps, during dynamic passage, it feels like the budget amp, only specific frequencies are present, while the MA1, it feels like the whole band. The whole low-end frequency is lifted. Although this might not be the best way to describe it, my point is, to my ears, there is a clear difference. Now, I would not have thought of the budget amp missing something until I A/B tested it. Next, nuance control. What do I mean by it? When there's bass, I mean in the sense of boom, 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 even the faintest boom, boom, there's energy pushing out. Do you know the concept of yin and yang, yang and yin? For today's context, think of yang as intense energy, intense punch, dynamic bass. That's no big deal because most amps today will give you that strong punch if you push the volume high enough. You don't spend $8,000 just to get that. Yin, think of it as gentle push. This is where this amp is set apart. When you listen to orchestral music, even the gentle subtle passages, you feel the weight, the energy, and the presence of the instrument realistically. The most delicate notes carry weight and presence. This is why you pay $8,000 for an amplifier. Now, like all amplifiers, the MA1's dynamic range and speed will significantly change depending on the DAC or preamp. However, the nature of this amp is not fast sounding, rather it has the correct speed. Now, I mention this because some of you are really picky about speed. Now, in every video, I have to highlight a negative, or else people might think, yeah, Thomas, you've been bought off. Nope, not getting paid a penny, not keeping the amp after this. This is totally for free. If I have to call a negative, this amp is guaranteed to get you sleeping on your couch whenever you ask your spouse to help you move it. 94 pounds, man. You would need your spouse, your dog, your neighbor to help. And it runs very warm. You cannot fry an egg on it, but I don't think a cat wants to sit on it. So let's wrap it up. Here, did Matrix achieve its goal of what it wrote on its website? Let me quote the website. Warm and mellow for the MP1. Yes, it did. It's on the polite and warm side. The Poweramp described on their website, performance that excels both in dynamic and nuanced scenarios. It should surge powerfully during intense moments and delicately reveal subtleties with finesse. Man, it sounds good in Chinese, what I just read, but in English, it sounds like they use AI to translate it. Yes, they did achieve that, what they claim. So having competition is good. Will Matrix entry into the high-end audio eventually change the audio world, such as the affordable DACs and Class D amps? Only time will tell. They are definitely fighting an uphill battle in the sense before today's video, I bet most of you don't even know this combo existed. Now they have delivered what they say on their website, and now that you have heard of this product, check them out at the next audio show. Alright guys, till next time.